Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. Today is October 3rd. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and then we can get started shortly. Let's see, a couple things here to update. That's good. That's good. It's good right there. A few more things right here. And we should be good to go. So got that going there. That's done. One last thing here to check off, and I think we're good to go. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. It looks like we're ready to go. Solid. All right, so I'll get a few minutes for people to make their way in. As people join, I'm going to go ahead and mark up K2SR zones over here. Quite a bit. All right. All right, I think that's all the zones right here. So there's a lot of zones. You guys can see there's a big push to the upside. I'll take a look at the overall bias shortly as people continue to make their way in. Morning, Funmi. Morning, Fahad. Morning, Peter. Morning, everybody. I'll get a few more minutes for people to join their way in. But as I can see right here, there's a huge bullish push since London session. So this is pretty much a London session right here. Market open here at London. Price dropped a little bit, consolidated big range, and then price shot all the way up. From what I saw earlier, it looks like price may be coming down. This might be temporary. Once we get to market open, price will probably correct back down. Let's see who else is here. Morning, Jamie. Morning, Peter. Morning, Marco. Morning, Patrick. Morning, everybody. So today is Monday, October 3rd. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend. It's basically the first official trading day of October. So should be pretty solid as we move deeper and deeper into the fall season. As you guys can see, it's very directional today during London. Typically when this happens, one of two things will happen next. Price will continue that direction or price will correct back down below. My guess is that price is going to correct back down below is because the overall bias, I believe, is going to be bearish for today. So let's take a look at the retail sentiment real quick to see where everything's sitting. Retail sentiment is currently 69% long, indicating that 69% of retail traders are currently buying right now. So we want to do the opposite and look for sells here since majority of traders are currently buying. Looking over here at the heat map is pretty much all green right now, as you guys can see. So it's pretty bullish at the moment. This is going to conflict with our retail sentiment because this is indicating that we should look for a sell. This is indicating that we should look for a buy because everything is pointing towards the upside. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 300 and 58 points right now. This is goes aligned with where price is going, because price has been bullish for the past 6-7 hours or so. So we'll have to wait for this to correct back down. So with that said, we don't have an overall bias today, because for the long term, this is indicating a buy. Retail sentiment over here, which is a stronger confluence, is indicating a sell. And the short-term bias over here, the trend, is indicating a buy as well. Price is currently above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up with the green pivot over the red. However, this doesn't necessarily mean this is going to hold, right? This can easily just shift right back down at any moment. So we got to give it some time to choose its direction. And we'll take K2SR rejection entries wherever the short-term bias is. So if this shifts to a sell, we'll look for some sells. If it continues pushing up, we'll keep looking for buys. But until we confirm that market is moving directional for an extended period of time, we're not going to be looking for anything else. I'll be looking for breakouts here. So I'll look for the breakout, but I'm probably not going to take it, just because there's no alignment with the overall bias. If this was all indicating a sell, then yeah, definitely I would look for a sell here. If this was all indicating a buy, then I would look for a buy. But right now it's pretty much mixed. This is indicating buy, this is indicating sell, and this short-term bias here is indicating a buy as well, but price is starting to shift back below. So just keep that in mind. If I see a breakout, I'll mark it up, but I'm not necessarily going to take it just yet. If this week continues to be directional, then we can probably start applying the variations, breakouts, daily entries, etc. But at the moment, I'm probably gonna hold off on that for now. So looking over here on the 3-minute, this looks like we can possibly get a daily here. The daily here could be an opposite move. So probably want to look for buy here for the daily, and same here for the 5. But for the breakout over here, this is going to be a mixed bag. So we'll see shortly. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. Once market opens, we'll take a look and confirm everything. So let's see who else is here. Morning, Surin. Morning, Maria. Morning, everybody. So end of weekend. Ready to get back into these markets here. So let me see what we got over here. I don't really see anything yet. All right, solid. So market is opening in about 3 minutes. Let me take a look at news this morning as well. So let's see, today is Monday, October 3rd. Today's a German holiday, so a little less volatility per usual. We have news at 6:45, final manufacturing PMI. And then at 7 o'clock, we have ISM manufacturing PMI. So a lot of inflation news today. All day today, Ward's total vehicle sales. And then Federal Williams speaking at noon. So 6:45 and 7 is news for today. I'm going to mark that up over here. 6:45 and 7. I'm going to go over here to the clean chart as well. And I'm going to go and mark up the high lows to identify market structure for you guys. So, and this is another thing too. You guys will see that there's a ton of liquidity sitting down below. So if price does swing back below and drop, we can probably get a pretty strong continuation of pushes, because we got so much liquidity sitting down here below that needs to be hit. Yeah, there's a lot of liquidity right here. So if you see the breakout for a sell, price might come down and pretty much knock out all of this liquidity right here. As you guys can see, price is realistically just ranging. You probably didn't notice that on the other chart, but price is really just ranging right here. Yeah, so price is just going sideways. You can't see it as good right here, but looking over here on the one on the chart with the cleanup, it's pretty much going sideways. So from a better perspective right here, you guys can see that it's not really doing anything. It's just going sideways from here. So all right, guys, market is opening in about 20 seconds. I'll call out any breakouts here. The breakout would have to be a buy, but we'll confirm it. So majority of overall bias is bullish. Current trend is bullish. High-low continuation. There's no high-low continuation there. High-low counter reversal. and additional strategy confluence. So in order for you to get a breakout here for a buy, you would need a buy signal and a strong bullish candle. If you get a strong bearish candle, this can technically be a sell, but it doesn't fit the criteria for the confluence checklist. So we'll see where price goes here. We want price to move directional, right? Right here, it's still moving in a range. So until it starts to move directional, we're not really going to have a direction to follow. So this would technically be the breakout, not using the extra confluences, but it's not one that I would take, obviously, right? Because all the confluences are pointing towards a buy short term. So I'm not taking this breakout here. This is just the bare basic breakout. There's a couple different breakouts that we've applied in the past. There's like the very bare basic where you're looking for momentum, you're looking for strong candle in that direction. However, if you're looking for the one with the requirements, you need to confirm the overall bias, right? The overall bias here is bullish. So even though this would technically be the bare basic breakout, it wouldn't fit the criteria for all of the requirements here. So until the market starts moving very directional, I'm not looking to take these breakouts. And it also depends on which breakout you're looking to apply. It depends on how long you've been part of K2, right? If you're part of K2 for a long time, you guys will know that the breakout's very simple. However, if you're using the actual strategy here that requires the bias, then you'd be looking for a buy here. But yeah, looking at the strategy right here, it's optional if you want to confirm the bias. So technically, this would be the breakout right here because there is a strong red candle on open. And this would be the breakout going downwards. So I'm not going to take this trade here. I might follow it. I'll see if maybe I can take a partial move later. But this might be actually, no, the trend meter down here is not red. I was looking at this to be a possible entry for a K2SR rejection, but it doesn't fit the criteria. So I'll follow this here. I'm a little tempted to take a partial move here, but it does look a little risky, like it may swing back up. So I'm just going to watch it. I'm not going to take this trade here. As you guys remember, Monday and Fridays are some of the riskier days to trade because the market is open. There's a lot of manipulation, a lot of corrections. As market goes into full swing, this looks like it's probably going to hit full TP, but I'm not going to FOMO into this trade just yet. I'm going to wait for an actual entry to come up. So if you guys want to take it, or if you guys are already in it, I would recommend moving your stop loss in profit. But this would be the breakout here. We're just testing this for the next couple weeks or so to confirm that it's actually moving directional. Once it starts to move directional consistently, we'll start taking the breakout again. But right now we're just testing this to see if they've been hitting for the past couple. I mean, last week is pretty solid. This week, hopefully, it'll continue to be solid as we are deeper into the fall. So it's almost there. Looks like it's about to hit full TP. I'll set an alert there so that we'll know when it hits. Almost there and full TP. So if you guys took the breakout, great work. If you didn't, it's okay. I didn't take it myself either. I was really tempted to take the last push here for the last 100 pips or so, but because typically if I do take like partial moves in here, I'll just catch it for a little push. It's all good. There goes one breakout for the day, full TP. We're just documenting this so that we can keep following it for the rest of the week, rest of the month, and see if it's continuing. If it does, then great, we'll start taking it. So full TP on the breakout right here. If you guys took it, if you didn't, it's okay. I also did not take it myself, so that's not going to count towards a profit. It's not going to count towards the wins. We're just using that as documentation. Next thing I'm looking for here is going to be for the trend meter here to turn red. Once it turns red, I can start looking for some entries. Target price point right here, or what I might see happen is price may retrace up. Once it retraces up, possibly get a rejection off here, and then write it back down for a continuation. That's one scenario. The next scenario is that price can break down below right now. So break below, come back for the retest, reject off the structure, and continue back down lower, right? This is a target price point there. Price did reach target price point. At this point right here, price may retrace back up. Trend meter is now red though, so this is a good thing. If price does break below here, fine. We actually want it to stay below here, because now if it closes below here, we can get a wick rejection off the structure and write it down lower for a K2SR rejection. So we got the K2SR rejection. Requirements right there. All right, we got the wick rejection right there. We're just confirming a moderate red candle. If we can get that, this will be a possible entry here. Price cannot push up and touch the sessions though. So that's one thing to look out for. Price actually came up and touched the session, so no entry right there. You want to be careful for taking entries right here, because this might be a fake out, right? Price is still near the sessions. So price came up, touched the sessions, and then now it's coming back down. Unfortunately, we can't take the entry at that point because it did touch the sessions. So it's triggered one of the red flags. Right there, red flags when to avoid trades when price is near sessions, which is touched it right there. So something to look out for here is a fake out. Price may fake out right here and swing right back up. Or if it doesn't, we can look for another wick rejection off the structure right there. If we get that, we can take this for a sell if we get a moderate red candle. So I'd like price to push up at least a little bit, just to touch these the zone right here. Once it touches the zone, we can write it back down. Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, we got news in about 10 minutes, so I had to keep a lookout for that. So if we get a moderate red candle right here, we can take this for a sell. You just got to make sure that it's actually a moderate red candle, right? And it closes within a decent time. You can't close like at the last, few seconds. So as long as it's pretty solid at the last 5 seconds or so, we can possibly take it. You gotta wait for it to actually close. But if it doesn't close until the candle closes, then you definitely want to hold off on it. So the candle in the wick is way too big. That's why you want to wait for it to actually close. This may be a solid entry on the next one right here. So we got to wait for this one over here. But this one right here is not an entry. The wick on the bottom is way too big. So you got to wait for it to actually close. This candle right here came up and touched it. So again, no entry there because it hits the first red flag right here, which is to not trade near sessions. So as you guys can see, price is faking out right here. This is why you got to be very patient to take these entries. If you guys jumped in too early, you could have been caught in this heavy drawdown right here. Good thing we didn't. Waited for it to close. You just got to make sure not to have that FOMO, guys. Today's a risky day. Monday, I think Mondays are worse than Friday. So just, keep that in mind. You're going to get a lot of these fake outs, a lot of these traps where you can possibly get caught up in the trade here. Let me see if there's a zone down here. I think this is adjusted. Go and fix this real quick. And there we go with that fake out that I just mentioned. So the fake out that I was talking about earlier played out. You can see price came down below the sessions right here, faked out, and swung right back up. So you guys be very careful about taking any entries here. We still don't have that directional confirmation yet. Price did break below this zone right here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and mark up the updated high lows. And you can see here that price moved below to a new zone right there. So we had a zone up here earlier. I guess I could leave this up for a little bit to see if price, pulls back into this area. I don't think it will though, because we do have a bearish buy still. Here we go, as price swings back below. Okay, now that price is back below here, this may be a confirmation that price is actually going to drop this time. So this candle's too big. So if this closes as a moderate red candle right here, this is as low as it can go. If it goes anything lower than this, then we can't take this for a sell. But if this does close around there, this would be considered a moderate red candle and a K2SR rejection entry. So we just got to follow this here. If it goes anywhere below this and closes below this point, we can't take the trade because the stop loss is going to be too far out. So we'll see where this closes here. You got 15 seconds. See where it's at. You got 5 seconds left. If it closes as a moderate red candle, you can technically take this for an entry here. All right, so let's see where it's at. Check my MT4. So I'm going to watch it real quick, see if it pulls back down. Pulls back down, we can possibly enter this for a late entry, but it is kind of a big candle, as you guys can see. This is why you don't want to take it right here, because it's too big, right? It's going to retrace up. If it retraces up, it can hit your stop loss before it drops down lower. So it closed a little lower than where we were anticipating, because this is the lowest it can go. And this is why we wouldn't want to take it, because price will retrace up. And then as it swings up at this point, price can come back up, hit your stop loss, and then come back down and hit your TP, right? So that's another key thing to look out for. The one way to identify if the candle's too big is just set up your TP stop loss. If your stop loss is like right at the top or right next to it, you can't take this trade here because price will retrace up. And then at that point, hit your stop loss and then come back down. You want to make sure that it's proportional. So we didn't take this trade here because the candle was too big. It dropped lower than we wanted it to. This was the lowest it could be right here, and it closed below it slightly. So gotta wait for it more, guys. Just be a bit more patient. Today is Monday, as you guys remembered. We have a whole week ahead of us. Don't force any trades here. This is still not a good area to trade because it's right around the sessions right here. And price is just bouncing around. What it's doing here is it's creating a new zone. So I'll go and just wait for another entry here, but still nothing for us to take at the moment. So I'm gonna leave the red flags over here up so that you guys can confirm this and make sure that you guys aren't taking trades where you're not supposed to. So whenever it's in your sessions, meaning touching it, whenever price is in your opening price, which is going to be up here, whenever price is in your news, and whenever candle prior to entry is too large, like this one right here. This candle, if you measure it, is 370 pips, way past your stop loss, which is your stop loss, which is 300 pips. Hey, Kenny, morning. Brian said for me, it was at the 200 MA, which I never take at that level. Yeah, no, 200 MA is definitely, that's like the breaking point for trend confirmation. So I wouldn't take it there either, Brian. Patrick said, heads up, FTMO shows Ward's vehicle sales at 715, not 7. Let me check real quick. Okay, gotcha. Thanks. Thanks, Pat, for that update. Let me see. I can be updated, right? So let me refresh it real quick. Word vehicle sales. It shows like all day on my end. Not sure where. Oh, FTMO shows it. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I'll mark that up right here too, just in case. On FTMO. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks, Patrick, for the update right there. Man, just when I thought we were moving a directional market, price is still, actually, no, we're still moving a directional market. So I'm going to mark up 630 right here. I'm going to mark up the times. So we can see, I'm just going to mark up the opening price right here as well, 630. All right, so as long as price doesn't come back to opening price over here, so if it doesn't come back above here, this blue line, then we can have a directional market because price did drop here on open. It's just retracing up. But if it doesn't come back above the opening price and continues to drop lower, then this would be considered a downtrend, right? Because price never really comes back open past the opening price. If price comes above it, then price is in a range. because it doesn't actually break it. It breaks structure and then it doesn't actually continue back down. It just basically goes back and forth. So just something right there to keep an eye out for as we follow along. We have news right here off this candle. I'm going to mark up news price. I'm glad it's right here because we have everything within one area. So this is going to be 7 a.m. or 6:45 actually. US news. It was neutral. Thanks, Peter, for the heads up right there. Take a look at the news candle. Yeah, it's neutral. All right, so price did actually swing back up above open. So we're in a ranging market, as you guys can see. It's right back to where it was earlier. It's back into the range. So we're still not out of this ranging market conditions, right, guys? We're still in a ranging condition because it's not moving directionally yet. Market opened right here at 6:30. Price dropped, faked out, came back up. This might be another fake out. It might come right back down. So just something to to obviously keep in mind as we continue on with this here. Goldie's asking, hi Sean, what do you use to link multiple accounts? I use social trader tools. Been using them for a couple of years now, not anything serious, no serious issues with them. So I just continue to use them. I know other people use different copiers, but I use social trader tools. So if you want to check them out, yeah, it's you got to pay for it though. You have a free first account, but if you start to add accounts, you have to start paying for it. I have like 6 accounts on mine, so I pay like $120 a month, I think, which is not bad. I mean, I cover it with a couple trades or one trade actually. So I think it's worth it if you have a lot of multiple accounts. The more multiple accounts you have, the more accounts you have, the obviously the more it's going to cost. So I think once you hit past the 5 account threshold, that's where it starts to cost a lot more. I think five accounts is like $60, and then you add another one after that, and it goes up to like 120 because it's in increments of 5 once you pass 5. So it goes from 5 to 10. Let's see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. I don't see anything else right here. Yeah, there's not really much here, guys. As you guys can see from this chart here, price is literally back into this area. This was a huge fake out. And then it came right back up. So I'll leave this up here so that you guys can have a visualization where the zone is at. This is where the zone was pre-market. Market dropped below and open, came right back up. No difference right there. The daily entry for the 3-minute and the 5-minute haven't come up yet. There's a pending daily right here, if and when it does come up. Well, what did Sean use in 2550 for this here? And a possible one coming here on the 5 as well. So I'll follow these entries here. As I mentioned, I'm following these other time frame and other strategies here just to identify if the market is starting to move directional. Obviously right here, it's not looking like it's moving directional right now because price is right back into the zone. So it's back into the same range as earlier, but I'm just going to use this as a guide to identify, whether we can start looking at these other strategies or not. Because the breakout hit, looks like the daily over here might come up shortly. And yeah, it looks like price might be pushing up slightly. I don't know how far it'll push up, but it looks like maybe pushing up a bit. If this starts to shift, we can start looking for buys here as well. So it's a matter of time. All right, so we'll see if price continues to push up further. If price pushes up further, trend meter turns green. That's perfectly fine. We can start looking for some K2SR rejections to the upside. 3-minute here didn't close. 5-minute didn't close either. Yeah, so this 3-minute daily doesn't look like it's going to close. Again, we're only looking for the K2SR rejections for official entries, guys. So this right here, I'm just following it. If you guys are just joining the room, we're only applying the one strategy right now until we confirm that price is actually confirmed that it's moving directional. Right now, it's still kind of going back and forth. No clear direction at the moment. This looks like this would be a counter trend daily entry if it does close this way. Not going to take it, just going to follow. Yeah, it looks like this might be a counter trend daily. Actually, no, I don't know if this would work because it's an invalid candle. I think, or I mean, technically, I guess it would fall under the criteria for a counter trend daily. Again, I'm not taking it straight here, guys. I'm just following it to see for if it, it's playing out. This is a bit of an iffy entry because it's not even a valid momentum, right? It's invalid. Trend is going to the upside. We'll just follow it and see if it goes up. But again, we're only looking for K2SR rejection entries. So nothing here yet. The trend meter is turning back to red. Even if it does turn back to red, we can't take any entries until price is below here. It's the only area we can look for entries. All right. I think this zone is gone. It's gone. I think this one's gone too. All right, so my anticipation is that price is going to come back down. It's kind of where I see price going. One thing that I started to notice a lot, guys, when I started to trade more with these K2SR zones is that when a new zone pops up below, if it establishes like something like this right here. So where you guys can identify where the zones are new is when they're down below. So, or when they're closer to the right side. So let me just go ahead and show you guys what I mean by that. And this is a little trick that I started to notice. I start to notice patterns whenever we continue to trade trades in certain ways. And we've been using the K2SR indicator pretty often for the past couple months or so. So when I see a zone like this come up, so you can see this zone wasn't here before, right? This was not here. This came up like very recently. When it comes up like that, that becomes the target area where price is likely to push. So if I see price going down, we have a momentum for a sell here. The target price point obviously is going to be the sessions right here, right? This is going to be the first target price point, but the next target price point that I see price reaching is going to be like the ultimate price point is going to be the next zone. So we'll see if this plays out. I do think price can be bearish for, the rest of the day today, but this is going to be the target, like the ultimate target price point. That's one thing that I started to notice lately. Let me see where the most recent other one was. Okay, so the one before this one was actually right here, right? I don't know when the zone came up, but it looks like it might have came up around this point right here. So I think when this came up right here, this zone came up, and as it came to the upside, it came right back down to that level right there, right? I'm kind of curious now. Let me go back real quick. I'm just going to rewind this super quick as price moves around because there's no entries to take here anyways. But yeah, I'm just really curious to see when the zone came up. All right, so you can see there's no zone right here, right? See how the zone came up at this point? It just appeared right here. This is going to be the target price point. So when price reaches its high, it's going to come back down and test this area right here. So you can see how price is pushing up. See how we get a sell signal right here? My anticipation is that price is going to come down and hit this area right here, right? Because this is the most recent zone. So as price comes down lower, it goes right to that point, right? So that's exactly what I just mentioned right now. So where price is currently at right now, this zone wasn't here earlier. So let me just go back again. I just want to show you guys this example because this is, I think this is pretty key if you guys are looking for, target price points. So it doesn't necessarily mean price is going to keep dropping like straight to there, like immediately straight to that point, but eventually it's going to reach that point. Train is freezing up on me. All right, let me just rewind it one more time, do it real quick. All right, so you can see how there's no zone around here. You just want to wait for the next zone to come up. It came up right there, and you can see that it's attempting to make its way down to that area. I don't think it's going to come down immediately, but if we get like some sort of reversal pattern, price comes up, retest this area right here, come back down lower. Target price point is going to be this zone right here at some point. Maybe at some point we can create some sort of strategy to implement this, but I'm going to keep looking for this type of pattern. Whenever a new zone comes up, waiting for it to come down to that point at some point in the future. Because it played out perfect right here. As I mentioned, it didn't come down immediately, but it came up. And then as soon as it reached its high, came back down to that area right there. Same with this right here. Price might be reaching its high at some point, and then it'll continue back down to this level if and when that becomes the case. Trend meter is still red, so we're definitely looking for sells here. However, we need price to be away from news price. We do have a wick rejection right here. This looks like a moderate red candle. It could be a possible solid entry for a sell using the K2SR rejection. However, the problem here is that price is right at the news price, so we cannot take this trade here. Candle is also too big. Yeah, and Patrick also confirmed that we're 3 minutes away from more news. So got to hold off on that for right now. So let's gotta wait for news to pass. Once news passes, we can wait for this to confirm. All right, so we got news coming up shortly, guys, in about 2 minutes. Unfortunately, we couldn't take this entry here. Obvious reasons. It's right at the news price, red flag. And then we also have news coming up right here at 7 o'clock. But it looks like it would have hit full TP right there. Price came down, hit TP, swung right back up. Another would-be entry, but unfortunately, we couldn't have taken it there. I'm hoping price stays above this area for news because we can't even trade around this area. I don't want news price to be below here because then it's going to hinder our ability to take a K2SR rejection entry if price ends up being below this point. So I actually want news price to be a bit higher. If it closes below here, unfortunately, it's going to mess with our entries here because we can't get a wick rejection off this structure anymore. Because there would just be another red flag down here. So I want it to stay above this area. I don't want news to stay bunched up within this area up here. So news at 7 o'clock is going to be ISM manufacturing PMI. This is going to be inflation news. We have this candle closing here. Perfect. Price closed above this point. News is going to stay above this area like we anticipated, or like we wanted to actually. All right, there goes news price right there. You can see the huge manipulation push to the upside. 7 o'clock US news. I wouldn't be surprised if this was negative news. So let me go and refresh this real quick. Yeah, no surprise there, right? Price was negative, but price shot all the way up. Huge manipulation right there. And this again is why we don't trade news. I mean, if you guys want to trade news, you guys can, but you guys can see this right here. Huge area of manipulation. There's no reason for it to push up like that. The inflation news is negative. ISM manufacturing PMI is negative. Construction spending is negative. ISM manufacturing price is neutral, but overall, it's pretty negative. So I can expect this to come crashing right back down. This is all manipulation right here. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it came right back down. Huge candle right there. So let's measure it to see how far that pushed up. Pushed up 1,350 pips. Now price looks like it's coming back down for correction. See, David posted some profits. Nice work, David. So David took a sell earlier. It looks like he took partial of the breakout. Total profit of $18.30 off this one. And then he took another one over here. He's at 47.10. Nice work, David. Not bad for some quick entries right there. All right, so we gotta wait about 5 minutes for this to pass. As you guys can see, no direction in the market. It's just going back and forth. So even though we are technically in the fall, there is no confirmation that price is actually moving directionally yet. Aside from this news price, it's kind of pushing price around. I'll go here to the other chart, and you can see that price blasted right through it. Price faked out below here again for a second time. So price faked out right here, pulled back into this area. Price faked out right here, pulled back into the area, broke above it. And I wouldn't be surprised if price fakes out above this area here and then comes right back down into the range. So I'm gonna leave this range up for now, just to give you guys a visualization as to like where price is going. But I mean, realistically, there's nothing for us to take here at the moment. The trend meter is turning green. So if that becomes the case, then we can possibly take some bias here. Price creates some more zones around these points. So just got to be patient waiting for this to play out. But at the moment, there just isn't anything for us to take right now. It's just going to be a matter of waiting for an entry to come up here. Update this right here. But as you guys can see, there's a lot of liquidity here sitting on the bottom still. So this might hit by the end of today. So it might not hit right now, but by the end of today, this might hit. So if you see a reversal happen later today, price will come down and then pretty much knock out all of this liquidity, come down lower, some more liquidity over from there, some more liquidity down here. So I'm fine with price being propped up like this. The thing to look out for is going to be these areas of liquidity below here. I'm going to go on the higher time frames to see if there's any zones around these areas. Nothing on the 5, nothing on the 10. Price is like super high up. 15. 30. The next area of zone is going to be way up here. It's actually pretty far out. Yeah, it's super far out. These zones over here overlap. Yeah, so it's got a long way to go. There's a zone right here technically, but it overlaps with the 1 minute. Pretty messy market for a Monday. Not too big of a surprise. This is technically the first of the month. So this would technically fall under the first of the month because we didn't have any other trading days before today. And today's the first October day of the market opening. Plus, we also have we also have a lot of this back and forth movement with the news coming up. So we got one more news event at 7:15. It's not necessarily on the calendar here. It's on FTMO for Ward's total vehicle sales. It's not very high. So, I mean, it's not high impact, but, you know, it can probably affect certain companies within US30. So let's just take a look at the overall bias again and see where everything's at. So retail sentiment here, I don't think it's changed very much. It's still at 69, so it hasn't changed at all. You know, with that said, you can see that this price here, like basically all this price movement is movement off the market makers and institutions. They're not market movements from retail traders because nobody's really hopping into the market. It's been 69 since open. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently up 488 points. Looking over here at the heat map is pretty much all green as well. So it's a pretty mixed bag. Long-term buys, fundamentals here indicating to take a buy, retail sentiments indicating to take a sell, but this hasn't changed at all. So you don't really see retail traders getting in or out of the market. This is mostly just institutions and market makers kind of just fighting each other. They're pushing price back and forth. And this is pretty much the range from earlier. So I still have these, this is a clean chart from last week. I still have these zones marked up from Friday. So it looks like price is trying to get up there and will knock out this liquidity that never got knocked out from Friday. But I mean, we'll see. We're not going to jump to conclusions here and identify that price is going to push up because price does have to come down eventually. Let me check the rest of the news for this week. So tomorrow we have more news. We have Jolt's job openings. They're expecting it to be positive. So we'll see if there's more jobs to come next week, or not next week, tomorrow. And then we have Fed member Williams and Fed member Messer speaking tomorrow as well, pre-market. And that's about it. So we have Jolt's job openings. This is going to be the main thing. Fed's going to speak pre-market. Wednesday, we have, okay. So another thing about this week, guys, is that it's NFP. Totally forgot it's NFP. So typically for NFP, either the market's really good or it's really bad. Or what you'll get is a slow market Monday through Wednesday, and then Wednesday through Friday, it starts to pick up as we get closer to NFP. Obviously, Friday's NFP. There's a lot of Fed talk this entire week. Unemployment claims, new job openings, inflation news, OPEC, ISM. So there's more inflation news all throughout the week. So we got more on Wednesday over here. Tuesday's not as big. We have the Fed pre-market speaking, but not as much news. But on Wednesday, we have a lot of news. We have inflation news, ADP, non-farm employment change, OPEC, going lower to Thursday. More Fed speaking throughout the day, unemployment claims, and then Friday, NFP, obviously. So yeah, that's even more of a reason to be careful to trade today, because I think for today, they're going to be setting up a lot of moves that are going to happen on Wednesday. So this right here might be, they might just be propping price up. So propping price up, because I'm not expecting any of the news to be good. Like today, the inflation news from today was super negative. I mean, it wasn't super negative, but it was pretty bad. ISM manufacturing, they were forecasting it to be 52.5, to be pretty close to what it was last month. It actually dropped a lot. It's 50.9. So that happened at 7 o'clock, and price just got manipulated to the upside because everyone was betting for it to lose, right? Or for it to go down. I still see a correction coming at some point. I just don't see it yet. But yeah, this might be a variation V1. With regard to the overall bias, not looking to take these trades yet until we confirm it. That price is, going to come down, but I'll clean this up a little bit here. So price actually came up and hit the liquidity. This was liquidity from Friday. Price came back up, touched it. Looks like we have a double body rejection to V1. Technically, if we are looking for variations here. This is a reversal pattern right here. Whenever you guys see a double body or double wick where a K2 high low is at, it's typically going to indicate that price is going to come down from that point. Not necessarily like a strong drop, but to some extent, it could possibly drop. It's definitely a bit of a risky move though, because of obvious reasons. The trend meter here is green, but I do expect it to possibly come down at some point because it is overextended. So if you guys look at it closely, it's pretty overextended where it's currently at. Price is pushed up like well over 2,000 pips, it looks like, from this point here. Yeah, about 2,920 pips. So it's pushed up quite a bit. It's due for some retracement at the very least. Or maybe even a correction back down because news price was way down here. So we'll see where this goes, but there's no entry for us to take at the moment. I mean, if you wanted to take this as a variation, it looks like it probably, I don't know, would it have hit already? Yeah, it actually would have already hit TP. If you were looking to take it as a variation, it went straight there. It came down real quick, hit TP, and then it came right back down. So not necessarily one that I'm looking to take, obviously, because we don't have a confirmation of, the direction and stuff. So just waiting for the market here to really confirm. So it hasn't confirmed it at all. I was hoping the market would start to move a bit more directional, but we just don't have that yet. So I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. So it does look like price is kind of moving directional here. Not a clean rejection though. I'm looking at it better now here because you can see how price dropped below. This was a fake out for the drop down below. Price came down here, created a low, came up, established another low right here, and then price pushed all the way back up. So in order for us to confirm that price is actually moving, or it's going to continue to move directional, we have to confirm that price does not come back down to this area here. So opening price. If price stays above here until 8 o'clock, then we do technically have a directional movement to the upside. The fake out was down here. Price came down on open, faked out, came back up, retested, came back higher, and now it's way up here. So regardless as to the fact that this was a push based off the news price, this still confirms that it's in a bullish bias. Price came, so it's probably easier to see it this way. Price came down, came up, came back down, didn't break this low here, and then continue going up higher. So basically higher highs were created as price continued to move up from this point down here, which would be the low point. This is low point. Price came back for retest, came back, established a low, came back up, retested right here, and continued up higher. So if that's the case, then that's perfectly fine. If we have directional movements, we can start looking for variations possibly in that direction. So we'll see. This was also a continuation entry here that Maddie typically takes. And we got news coming for you here at 7:15. So thanks, Patrick, for the update there for that one. So we'll see where the news comes up. And we will continue from here. It's a typical Monday. See. Thanks, Roman. Yeah, Roman, thanks for the update right here. Roman sent us this right here. He said closed board meeting on October 3rd, government sunshine meeting notice, 11:30 a.m. Emergency Federal Reserve meeting happening Monday. Could this be the meeting that stops the rate hikes and turns back on the money printer? Yeah, possibly. Thanks, Roman. Yeah, so Roman over just posted up this right here. They're having closed board meetings. I think that, let me see if it's even on the calendar today. Yeah, so it's happening later today. You can see here when Fed member, Well, he said 11:30 a.m. I'm assuming Eastern. So 11, 9, 7. It's around 7:30 today. Looks like they're having a closed board meeting. I mean, either way, there's no entries for us to take here at the moment for the K2SR rejection. Here we are at news price again. Go ahead and mark that up right here. So this is going to be news price for US news. I don't think it's on the calendar here. So let's keep it neutral. Yeah, not over here either. So we got that there. I mean, it's light impact news, so I'm not expecting it to really cause a big impact in the market. We'll have a markup right there. So we don't have any other zones around this area here. Price is attempting to continue up higher. I mean, price is really just ranging now. So there's another range here. It's basically this high, this low. So not really much going on here. It's back into the same range. Well, not the same range, but into another range. This looks like it's starting to squeeze though. So it's a range, but it's really tight. So it's just consolidating a little bit right here sideways. It looks like it's attempting to break out. So it might break out one way or the other. 3-minute didn't play out so well. So again, another confirmation there that, price just isn't moving as smooth as we would have thought. The 5-minute over here did hit though. So it looks like the 5-minute did push up from this point and it did hit its full TP. I might have been applying this strategy improperly because it was an invalid signal. However, we were looking for a possible buy there if price did swing up because of the short-term trend. Price is really just going sideways right here along news price. Here's a clean chart. So as you guys can see, it's not as easy to see the market structure if you don't have the high lows drawn up. So if you have the high lows drawn up, if you don't want them on one chart, like for my chart here, for example, our main chart, I don't have the high lows drawn up, right? Because I don't want to mess on the chart. But if you have a second chart that's kind of a bit cleaner, this will help you identify if market is moving directional, if it's going sideways, if it's consolidating, etc. This pretty much just gives you a straight indication as to like where it's going. Which is, I mean, going nowhere really. Oh man, this Monday is, I mean, it's tempting to like kind of anticipate where price is going to go because I think price may probably push up a little higher before it comes back down. But I mean, who knows? It's really like up in the air. Let me take a look at the sentiment here. So the sentiment has dropped heavily. If you guys see here, the sentiment, it dropped from 69% to 65. It looks like either people got pulled out or something else happened because that's a big drop. You typically don't see the sentiment change that heavily within a few minutes. We just checked like less than 10 minutes ago, or maybe about 10 minutes ago. And this number here was 69%. It dropped 4% in that much time. If that becomes the case, price might continue to push up like I was looking at right here because they need to stack this up higher. You can see it increased by like 1 percentage point right there. Went from 65 to 66. But I don't know. We'll see. They might be faking out both ways. So price is cutting up here. This is a zone from the, I can't remember if it was a 30-minute. Yeah, this is a 30-minute zone right there. So we can possibly see if we can get a K2SR rejection from this point. Yeah, Patrick said he didn't take it, but the high low just hit. So he looked at this high low right here. It closed above slightly for possible entry at that point. So yeah, nice work right there, Patrick, in identifying that. And if price continues to move directional like this, we can probably start to look for other entries, but we just don't have the confirmation. Sisuk actually caught it. Nice work, Sisuk. So what we could possibly get right here is we can possibly get a SR rejection entry if a moderate green candle comes up here. That's going to be one thing to keep an eye out for. Moderate green candle. It's got to be pretty established though. Like, you can't come up at the last second. So about 20 seconds left. All right, so if you got to make sure the candle's not too big like earlier. This is as high as it can go. If it goes anywhere higher than this, then you can't take it. Never mind. The wick on top is too big. Unfortunately, it would have hit though. So the wick on top is just too big. It was 130 pips. The body of the candle right here was half of that. So we'll see again right here if there becomes another entry, but this right here was not an entry. That wick on top is just way too big. You got to make sure that it's moderate, like way before candle even closes. Possibly this one. It's getting close to the sessions up there. Target price point is going to be the sessions right here. If price continues to push up higher. So we'll see if this here closes as a moderate green candle. Doesn't look like it's going to last 5 seconds. And it doesn't. Possibly again right here. Yeah, DeJounte said it's losing its steam, and I agree. It tried to push up right there, and then it just started dying down. None of those were moderate green candles. We're waiting for this to actually close here as a moderate green candle. It has to actually establish, for a bit. It can't just like come up at the last 5 seconds. Hey, Brock, how's it going? Good morning. All right, we got 20 seconds left on this candle here. I don't know, it can or it can't close at that time, but it doesn't look like it's going to. Another 10 seconds here. And bouncing around. Nope. Again, no entry there. So even if we do get an entry at this point, guys, I'm probably not going to take it because you can see here it's starting to lose its steam. It's starting to like kind of angle out. It's creating like a U shape. It's creating like a U shape, like it's about to come back down. So I'll mark it up if it comes up, but I don't think I'll be taking it. It's just in a too risky of an area. Or we'll see. Let's see. We have about 20 seconds left on this candle. If this one actually closes pretty solid, we can take it. But if not, if it just keeps bouncing around like it's doing right here and it closes at the last like couple of seconds, we're definitely going to skip it. We'll see right here. We got about 5 seconds. All right. Looks like possibly take this one right here. Let's see, I haven't gotten in yet. I'm still tempted. I don't know. Thinking about it. I gotta think right now because this is gonna be my last time to get in. It shoots up. I get my entry right there. See where it's at. It's my MC4 at. I don't know. I'm still kind of iffy about it. I'm like thinking if I should hop in or not. Fuck it, I'm gonna hop in. Let's see. All right, so it's currently at break even. See where it goes. I might have to manually exit this if it doesn't close me out. Oh, I actually already hit. So it hit my TP. Let me see what I got. I got 1,000, 1,010. All right. So if you guys took it with me right there, I just kind of YOLO'd into it. I was thinking about it for too long and I was like, whatever, I'm going to take it. So I took it and it hit my TP super quickly. It shot up, hit my TP right there, locked in 1,010. No, not bad. So quick profit right there. You know, sometimes you just have to jump, but you have to take the move. I kept thinking about it for a while, and then when the price came back to break even in or right at the center entry, I just hopped in. So if you guys took it, great. If you guys didn't, you know, just wait for a better move to come up. Let me check my profits. So I mean, I did okay off that one. Let me see. So just an FYI, I did take a couple trades yesterday, guys, during Asia. So I'm just going to screenshot what I took for that one trade there so that you guys aren't like wondering. Because I do take my own trades sometimes. They're not necessarily the best trades, but there's something that I would consider a bit, you know, risky, obviously. So let me go over here. I'm just going to show you guys what I took here on the live so that you guys know like what's official and what's not, right? Because I don't want you guys to think that that it's okay to trade during Asia. I mean, you guys can. If you guys are comfortable with it, you guys can, but I don't necessarily recommend it unless you guys are super comfortable about taking certain trades. So I made about 1,010 off that. Let me check my FTMO here, my other one. Some slippage on my other accounts. So, I mean, I guess it's a decent trade to kick off the trading week. It did hit the target price point right here that I marked up. So if you guys look at the sessions right here, target price point is typically going to be where the sessions are. And then at this point right here, you might see some sort of manipulation. Nice. Sisu caught it. Maddie caught it. Some of you guys here caught it. So not bad. Hoping for some more smoother moves though. There goes my first official trade for this week to pretty much kick it off. Patrick caught it as well. Yeah, so if you guys have profits posted up, feel free to post them up. Otherwise, you know, just wait for the next trade. Yeah, I got some slippage on like all my accounts, kind of. I got slippage here on my TFF. It's all right. I mean, slippage is going to happen. There's no point in complaining over it. So I'll just take it as is. Of course, MFF, the most slippage, 710. You guys will see right now. I'm not surprised by MFF though. So I don't really recommend MFF to anybody anymore, guys. I mean, if you guys want to use them, feel free. I know some of you guys already do use them. Well, I've never really recommended them, but I'd probably just hold off. The slippage on MFF is like, I don't know what happens with it. It's, yeah, oh my God, look, I'll show you guys my other one. So one of my MFFs, I made 710. My second MFF made 510. It's like such a huge difference between, and my third MFF 810. So all of my MFF accounts completely different. All right, I think I screenshot all my accounts there. So no entries right now, guys. So you guys aren't really missing anything. So yeah, there's my main account, copier, and I'm just screenshotting the official trades, guys, because I don't recommend you guys trade during Asia. I just want to make sure that you guys focus on just, you know, our live sessions here. So I just want to show you guys the profits from the live session. So here is the trade that we took. It hit the full TP, obviously. Here's my main account. It hit it perfectly, 1,010. So it was supposed to lock in 1,000, some slippage there. I locked in 1,010. Here is my copier. You guys can see I locked in 960. It wasn't too far from it. So main account, green strip, 1,010. Copier, 960. Here is the TFF, locked in 900 on here. Here is my MFF. So you guys can see here the huge difference between my MFF accounts. I made 710 off this one, made 510 off this one, and then 810 off this one. Huge difference between all the MFF accounts. And these are in order. This is my main MFF, my second MFF, and my third MFF. Huge difference. I mean, you guys can use them if you guys want, but you guys can see I've been showing you guys the profits pretty much every day for the past, you know, however many days. And MFF is the one that has the main issues. It's their execution times, but it's all good. I mean, it is what it is. Take what I can get from them. I mean, they're still solid with their payouts. It's just kind of annoying because I'm getting like half profit while everything else here is making like 1,000, right? Or even close to it. So it's all good. Quick profit on the live session to officially kick off. Yeah, Marco said, Ella, they do pay out in a very timely manner, though. Yeah, they pay out. So that's the good thing. The thing is they pay out. They're still like, they're not scamming. It's just that they're finding ways to, I don't know, basically undercut the profits. Which I get, I could see their perspective. They do that because they want to make sure that, you know, you don't get lucky. You end up getting this huge slippage where you end up locking in a ton of profits and then they don't catch anything, right? So that's, I could see their approach on it, but it's just, I don't know, it's just annoying. It's annoying because we have all these other copiers and they're the only ones that are kind of screwing up with their execution times. So looking over here, let me see, I think there was more profits. So Maria over here as well, she took a couple of trades today, locked in a total profit of 720. Nice work, Maria. So back to Maria's profits. Yeah, Maria locked in a total of 720 for the day. So solid work right there. Let's see. Jonathan over here as well took the buy there with us for that K2SR entry, locked in a total profit of 450 for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. I need to fix this Telegram. It keeps closing on me. So nice work right there, Jonathan. And I think that's it for right now. If you guys have any more profits to post up, feel free to post them up. Otherwise, we'll continue on with these entries here. There's another moderate green candle here for an entry, but it's right at the session, so we can't take that there. Yeah, another moderate candle right there. Take for a buy, but it's right at the session, so we can't take that trade there. It's one of the red flags. Whenever price is near the sessions, you want to avoid a trade. Maddie said, it looks like it just retraced for the today, but it might be dumping, but who knows? Yeah, I could see that too, Maddie. Marcus said he'd be robbing me. Exactly. All right, so here we are with the clean chart. I'm gonna go and clean this up. It pretty much knocked out all the liquidity that we had marked up over here from last week. This was a bullish liquidity from Friday. Knocked it all out. Looks like price is back into this range again. And here we are just waiting. Got to be patient again. So the main key with trading, guys, is patience, right? If you guys don't have patience, you're probably not going to do good with trading. I see a lot of people, and it's crazy because I see there's a lot of turnover, not just in K2, but in other trading groups, right? I talk to other trading groups as well, like other owners of other trading groups, and it's the same story with everybody. It's interesting because like the way that the psychology works is I'll see a lot of people in K2 and they'll like leave K2 because they think that it's not working, right? But realistically, the market is just not giving any entries. And then they join another group. And the ironic thing is like, I know the people in the other group, like the people who run the other group, and they're like, oh, hey, you know this guy? And I was like, yeah, he was in my group before. And then he goes to their group and then their strategy is not working. And then they leave and then end up coming back to K2. So you see a lot of people go back and forth between like different groups. And if the thing is, if that same person was just disciplined and stayed with one group or one type of strategy, and they just weathered the storm when the market was not working as well as they wanted to, they would be way more profitable. Because I see a lot of people join one group, they don't do so well. They join another group, they don't do so well. And they keep joining groups and groups and groups. Where if they would have just stuck with one group, doesn't matter if it's K2 or any other group, they could have done a lot better because they're just not patient enough to wait for the strategies to play out. So that's just another thing I wanted to mention because there was where's he at? Stephen here? Stephen is not here. Yeah, Stephen like left K2 for a little bit to go play with some EAs. And I think he blew his account again. So he's probably coming back to K2. I mean, he comes back every couple months. He'll come to K2, join another group, blow more money there, and then come back and then he'll realize that he missed the whole portion where we were like killing it for like a whole month or a couple months. And then he's like, damn, I should have just stayed here. So he's coming back. I think he messaged me. He's coming back soon. He's now not doing any more funded accounts because I think the EA he was using blew like all of his accounts. So he's just going back to his personal accounts. But we'll probably see him back here in the next week or so. You said he needs to get his mind right. Yeah, Jonathan said there was this one guy who always wanted a 1 minute strategy. He left the group before you came out with the 1 minute strategies. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm kind of just sticking with one type of strategy now, guys. Before I used to trade intraday and I used to swing trade, but you know, the more and more that I started to realize that if I kept changing strategies, we wouldn't be able to master anything really fully. So now we've been applying the 1 minute strategies for about like 3 or 5 years now, I think, or no, I mean like 3 years consistently on the live sessions. And we just keep getting better at these 1 minute entries. So this is probably going to be our main bread and butter here at K2. So if you guys don't like scalping, this might not be the best option for you guys. But, you know, and I'm just going to be like realistic with you guys because I don't want you guys to hang around and think that, okay, I'm going to start swing trading like tomorrow. I'm probably never going to go back to swing trading because I make pretty good profit off just these 1 minute charts and I'm pretty consistent. So if you guys like scalping, I mean, you guys are in the right place. If you guys want to trade something else like swing trading or intraday trading, which you guys can use in the older strategies, it's just not something that I'm going to focus on, especially not on the lives. I prefer just trading for an hour a day and then being done. The big downside to swing trading and intraday trading is that you guys are going to be on your screen all day. So, I mean, it was fun for a while until you start to like hate it. It's just not for me. Yeah, Jonathan said holding a New York daily isn't for the faint of heart. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just it's a roller coaster. So if you guys trade like intraday, or if you guys have traded intraday or swing trading, it's a roller coaster. You guys will go into drawdown, go back into profit, go into drawdown. You hold on to that trade for like a week, hoping that it'll hit, and you really don't have a good grasp on it. For this year, at least we know that we're winner, we lose right away. Like for example, the trade we took earlier today. Like I saw this trade here, we waited for like. So this trade came up at 7:20. You probably waited for about an hour or less than an hour for this trade to come up. I let it hit and then it hit my TP. So, you know, for me to be able to focus for like 1 hour and then locking in about 6,000, 10, 960, 900, 710, 510, 810. So this is how much profit I made across, all my accounts. I'll be patient for an hour to make this much in an hour, right? You could make this swing trading and intraday trading too, but you're gonna be on your charts like literally all day. And it's just not for me. All right, so let's see. Is there anything else here? I'm looking to hop back into XRP. So, if I ever hop back in XRP, I'll let you guys know. I do a lot of longer holds with XRP, so I don't typically swing trade or intraday trade US30, but XRP is one of the assets that I'm looking to like pretty much buy and hold. So that's why I'm looking on the daily chart here. I'm looking for it to come back down, retest the structure right here, and I'll probably hop in for another buy and just hold on to it until it comes up. Let's see. Barack said, I can't really focus out there with a trade continuing on the system. Scalping works for me. Yeah, so Barack has the same idea as I do. I don't like taking a trade and then leaving it alone for an extended period, because if you come back like an hour later, your trade could be nearly hit stop loss, or it can be nearly hit TP, which you really don't know because you're not on your screen all day, unless you are. So it's not necessarily for everyone. Anyways, back to the charts, guys. Sorry, we went off track for a little bit, but there's nothing for us to take here. You can see the volatility die down completely. This candle right here is not even moving. The past 5 minutes has moved about 200 pips or so. Not really much here at all. Right there, right there. Yeah, so pretty much just consolidation right here. You guys can see on the clean chart, it's easier to see. There's not really much going on. It's just mostly just price consolidating around this area. I can do it here on the clean chart or on our markup as well. Just where price is currently at. All right, so price is just consolidating down here. Looks like it might be starting to swing back to the downside though. So as price continues to move sideways right here, it looks like it's starting to do that U shape that Cece was just talking about earlier. So it looks like it came up, created the U. Now it's trying to make its way back down. I mean, realistically, it's just going sideways right here. Target price point would be the news price right here. So price did push above right here and it never came back down. So if price does swing below here, target price point is going to be the pink line here, which is news price, and then possibly a further drop from this point down here, next level. I'm gonna check US30 on the higher time frames. Draw some high lows here. I like the 4 hour. 4 hours actually, I think 4 hours is probably the best time frame to look at these longer directional moves. So I'll mark up some high lows here. I'm not going to go too high. It's not really. Yeah, so looking over here on the 4 hour, this has about 3 hours left on it, but it looks like it's rejecting off the pivots right here. So rejecting off the pivots. Also an SR level right here. So if you look here on the 4 hour, it's actually ranging as well. So there's a zone up here, but I mean, realistically, if you were to look at this from this point, it's really just ranging right here. It's a huge range. So it's not really doing much. It's ranging sideways. and no telling where it'll go from there. All right, so price is actually breaking above here. It's right at the sessions, might be a fake out. But there's no zones around here. So let me go on the higher time frames real quick. 10-minute. Color that blue. Color that blue. All right, so I'll just leave this right here to see if we can find any possible entries for another SR rejection. We don't have any zones here on the 1 minute, so that's why I had to go on the higher time frames to identify, you know, where the next zones are. Yeah, I don't really see anything here. Closest is that 10-minute zone. Maddie said, I do anticipate a drop, but I'm going to take my pre-market profits and sit. Yeah, no, I'm doing the same thing, Maddie. There's just nothing for us to take right here. I'm waiting for something to come up, but there's nothing for us to take. Short-term bias is still very bullish. Trend meter down here is green. Price is above the pivots. Pivots are angling up. Green's over red. Looking over here at the long-term bias. So let's take a look at the sentiment again. Sentiment is currently 63% long. Looks like a lot of people are bandwagoning off those buys. I think a lot of people are expecting price to drop. It's basically what we were expecting. We're expecting price to drop, but a lot of people are now convinced that price is actually going to drop. This is really crazy to see this jump so much. On open, it was 70%. Now it's at 63. Typically, the sentiment here doesn't change that quickly. It usually takes a while unless something happens in the market causing them to like really change positions, right? Because, I mean, you guys saw right there, I just refreshed it. It was at 70. Now it's at 63. I don't know. It looks like something might be happening soon. I know that the Fed's going to speak later today, so I have a calendar right here. Fed Barkin speaking at 8:45. Fed Georgia speaking at 11. Bostic is speaking right before market close. Or I don't know if this is, I think this is pre-market. Let me check real quick. Yeah, that's weird. It doesn't show up here on Forex Factory. It does show here on my FX book. So yeah, Fed member Barkin is going to be speaking in about 50 minutes. Bostic is actually speaking, or they were speaking right now at 6 o'clock. So I don't know, maybe that caused price to push around a little bit. But yeah, Fed member Barkin speaking in 56 minutes, and then we have Fed member George speaking at 3 hours. A lot of Fed talk this week. This one right here came up. I think the candle might have been too big though. Yeah, or actually, no, this would be I don't know, it's hard to tell. So this looks like it would be an entry right here. I thought the candle was too big, but it wasn't. There's barely a small wick rejection off the structure. Like it's so minimal that it's not really easy to see at all. But it does fit the criteria here for an entry. We have an upwards trend. We have a wick rejection off structure, but it's really small. I don't like taking trades when they're so small like that, where they're not super obvious. So obviously I'm not going to enter this trade. The trade came too late anyways, so I'm not entering it here. I'll follow it and see if it hits, but I'm not going to take it. There's a new zone here that actually came up, a 1 minute zone. Yeah, it looks like it's going to hit TP too. Yeah, it looks like it's about to, yeah, looks like it's about to hit. I didn't take it, but you know, this is actually a triple confluence. I should have just taken it. It's okay. It's too late now. But this was a triple confluence right here. I just noticed that. Yeah, you guys noticed it too. Triple confluence because we had buy signal here. It's above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Broken close past this structure right here. Yeah, it actually fits as a triple confluence. You know, maybe making a late entry here. It doesn't look like it hit CP yet. That's a risky move though. See if I'll hop into this. No, I'm not gonna hop into it. I don't want to FOMO because it's already too late. You know, I'll just let it run and we'll see. We'll just follow it. But yeah, this was a triple confluence. So the triple confluence right here aligned because it broke and closed past this high low right here. This was a bullish momentum signal. Trend meter was green. It was above the pivots. Pretty much all criteria was met. It's just that it's in such a risky area because it's just bouncing around. But yes, the triple confluence would be right here. Confirm overall bias. This is also another, so this doesn't necessarily fit the criteria for the overall bias because the sentiment has to be bullish as well. Everything else is bullish though. So looking over here, we have, this is indicating a sell, so it doesn't align with the criteria. However, fundamentals here are bullish, so that fits one criteria. Trend meter is also green, so I guess it does kind of fit the criteria there because you just need 2 out of 3, and 2 out of 3 are met here. The only thing that isn't met is retail sentiment, which is typically what I do like to be in place. But since the other 2 are met, it's technically, it fits criteria. So confirm overall bias. We have more bullish confirmations than bearish, so I guess overall bias would be bullish. Trend meter is green. Signal is green. Price is above the pivots. It's breaking past this high low. And yeah, everything kind of fits here. It's just, I don't know, like Maddie said, actually, no. So here's one thing. Sorry, guys, I just noticed there's a sessions right here. So it actually doesn't fit the criteria because it's a huge red flag. I didn't even notice that until now. So I took everything off the chart. So I don't know if you guys noticed that, Maddie, I mean, not Maddie, MJ and Patrick, but there was actually a session that was right here. Maddie said today's just a red flag. Yeah, no, I agree. So I didn't even notice that there, but yeah, even though all the criteria here was met, there was actually a pretty big red flag right there, which is the sessions. So maybe a good thing I didn't hop into this for a FOMO move because I was really looking to FOMO into this trade. But yeah, definitely not a good trade to take, especially with yeah, MJ said it's probably gonna hit though. Yeah, I can see it hitting too. It's probably gonna spike right back. It's gonna shoot right through it, probably. Right through the TP. It's in a weird area though. Yeah, but no, good catch, guys, with that triple confluence. I always miss those. You guys seem to catch them like right away. I think this candle probably closed like at the last second too. The one with the momentum. It's a pretty strong candle. Looks like it was probably down here, and then all of a sudden it just shot up and closed. Let's see. It's pushing up higher. Yeah, this thing's been bouncing around forever. I was kind of hoping it would just push up and hit just so that we can have that peace of mind that it that it actually went through. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is really pushing. Like, I mean, it's taking so long to just push up and hit. It's been pushing for about how many minutes now? Like 10 minutes. There you go. Oh my God. It went up and then it came right back down. Literally came up, hit CP, and then came right back down. See if it actually pushes right through it. Yeah, MJ said, "L, I'd be stressed out if I was in this." Yeah, same here, because the spread's 180 right now. So if you guys were in this position, I mean, this is a long time to be holding on to a 1 minute trade, right? It did hit TP, but it like barely like it didn't really hit it. Like it didn't blast right through it. The spread's still 180. So if you were in this position, you probably still got caught. You're probably still in it because it wasn't far enough to push out of the spread. Yeah, no, I'd be stressed out too. I'm glad I didn't take it. I was really tempted too because I was everything lined up. The only thing that kind of turned me off was when I saw the sessions right here. Yeah, spread is 180 right now on FTMO, which is technically 18, but it's still kind of wide. There you go. So it finally blasted right through it like it was supposed to. Yeah. It's getting close to 8. Unfortunately, it's getting close to 8, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I was hoping today I'd get like more trades, but there just isn't anything for us to take at the moment. I mean, it is Monday, so we just got to keep that in mind. Today is Monday, and we have a whole week ahead of us. So it's not necessarily the best time to force trades. It's probably best to just sit tight. I mean, we took one trade today and you already get full TP. If you took this one right here, this one would have hit full TP too. This trade's not going to count because I didn't tell you guys to take it. I was really tempted to take it because it did fit criteria. However, it did meet the red flag where I was right at the sessions. So it doesn't meet all the criteria here. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. You know, just a reminder, today is Monday, so we're back to our schedule. We're having our mentoring sessions on Monday. If this day doesn't work for you guys, just let me know so that we can maybe change the day. We don't always have to have it on Monday. If there's certain days that works for you guys, we can put up a poll and we can change the day for the mentoring sessions. I just like having it on Monday because I like knocking it out early in the week so that you guys have your questions answered before the week continues. But if you guys need to change the date, just let me know because there's only so many people that attend the mentoring sessions anyways. So if you really want to attend the mentoring sessions, but Mondays just don't work for you, just let me know and we can figure out, you know, a date and time that does work for you. If 2 p.m. doesn't work for you guys, just let me know. We can probably push it back as well. It's just, you guys have to reach out to me, let me know so that we can figure it out, make sure that it works for everybody else. So other than that, I don't really see much here going on. I mean, this market still is kind of trash. I was expecting it to be better since we are in October now. It's like officially fall. But I think this is like the first week where fall actually plays through. We did see a lot of bullish movement here. Volatility did pick up a lot. So market opened over here at 6:30. Let's see how much the market moved from open. So this is one good thing. One good thing about this is that the market is actually moving now. So this is the low from today. And this is the high. So as you guys can see, price is moving. It's moved up 4,450 pips. That's pretty good movement for one day compared to how price was moving in the summer. Price had moved like less than 1,000 pips, right? So we have a lot of volatility in the market. The only problem here is that we don't have the directional movement just yet. We have somewhat of a directional movement. So looking at this here, let me clean this up a little bit. So I still have the timestamps on the chart here. So as you guys can see, market opened here at 6:30, price dropped slightly for a fake out. This is normal. Price dropped for a fake out, and then from this point right here, it just shot all the way up, right? So this right here indicates that we are in a directional market. This is actually a pretty decent market if it was going in the direction of bias like it's supposed to. Typically, price is supposed to go in the direction of bias. Today, there was a mixed bias, right? Fundamentals were bullish. Retail sentiment here was super bullish on open, but now it's starting to shift the other way. It went from 70% to now 62%. So this is actually a pretty decent market. Like looking at it from a directional aspect, we had price fake out right here. And then every time it pushed up, it just created new higher highs. Pushed up, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This was a lower low, but it's still established at a continuation. So it kept going sideways. So price in an uptrend right here, consolidation, uptrend right here, consolidation. So we do have the criteria here for a directional pattern. So what I see to follow here is that since we have a bullish move right here, I'm expecting price to consolidate a bit from 8 to like maybe 10. And then eventually price is going to come back down for correction for the mid-market reversal. So that's something to look out for here. I don't think this bullish push here is going to hold up. The Fed is going to be speaking a little later today, around 11 or 12 actually. Fed Member Williams is speaking at 12 o'clock today. So when he speaks later today, price is probably going to drop because they're having their discussions and meetings regarding the interest rates and whatnot. So with that said, it's probably going to cause price to come back down if they do decide to continue raising interest rates, which is probably going to happen. I think interest rates are probably going to keep going up until next year, and then eventually, you know, things will change. But at the moment, I don't see much change happening. So. All right, guys, it's 8:01 right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be back here in about 6 hours for the mentoring session today at 2 p.m. Pacific. So during the mentoring session, I'm going to be going over the K2 SR rejection strategy. I'll be going over examples, going over stuff in detail. So if you guys can attend later, that's going to be very beneficial for you guys because this is going to help you guys as we transition back to the directional market. So I'll go over the K2SR rejection strategy. We'll go over that in detail during the mentoring session. If you guys have anything else, like if you guys want me to review the variations, the daily entries, the high-low scalps, pivot scalps, intraday scalps, I'll go over pretty much everything because we're getting close to the fall season to going back into full swing. And as we reach that point, we can start applying those strategies again. So I'll go over that stuff with you guys there in about a couple hours later from now. But if you guys have any specific questions, you know, feel free to join the chat or join the mentoring session later, or just send me your questions through Telegram or email if you want me to cover stuff and you guys can make the session so we can cover those things first. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for right now. It's 8:02. I don't recommend you guys continue trading. If you guys want to, feel free to do it at your own risk, but I'm going to be sitting out until the mentoring session later and probably until the middle of the week once the market starts to pick up and move a bit smoother. So, other than that, guys, have a great rest of your morning. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or message me on Telegram. But other than that, I will see you guys back here in about 6 hours. So catch you guys then.